So a little review from yesterday to kind of start out. So we asked you long division. So we've got our x minus 3.
The process is begun by dividing the leftmost digit of the dividend by the divisor. The quotient round.
Wow, he's telling me how to do it. So we've got 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 0x minus 4. Make sure you count for every single one. So 2x squared. So 2x squared. That gives us 2x cubed minus 6x squared. Make sure we subtract, so change the signs. So negative x squared plus 0x. So far, so good? So multiply by negative x. That gives me negative x squared plus 3x. Again, change the signs. So we've got negative 3x minus 4. So negative 3. That gives me negative 3x plus 9. So it's going to be negative 4 minus 9, which is negative 13. So then our remainder, negative 13 over x minus 3. So remember, the whole point while we're doing these is we're trying to figure out, eventually, we're not making you say it today, but we're eventually trying to figure out if x minus 3 is actually a factor of it or not. And because there's a remainder, it's not a factor of it. Now eventually we're going to start trying to factor these, and one of the ways that you factor these is you start guessing. Okay, and then you have to check it to see if it works. Doing long division to try to do that all the time would be kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, so there's a shorthand method to do these as well. That's called synthetic division, and that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to work on dividing these polynomials, but now we're going to use synthetic division instead. And it is much, much, much quicker. So we're going to take the same problem that we just had, and we're going to show you how to do it using synthetic division. So first and foremost, if we had it in long division, and you're not going to rewrite it in long division. Okay, I just did it to kind of show you what's going on. You're going to go from the upper step, the 2x cubed minus 7x squared minus 4 divided by, you're going to go straight from there down to the 3, 2, negative 7, 0, and negative 4 eventually. The next one we do. Okay, so here's what's happening. When you're doing synthetic division, you're going to take and you're going to find the 0 of your divisor. The 0 of your divisor is going to go down here in this box, and it has to be the 0 of your divisor. Okay, so the 0 of your divisor would be saying, okay, x minus 3 is equal to 0. What makes that 0? Well, x is equal to 3. So the 0 of your divisor goes inside of this box. We still have to make sure that our dividend goes from, in this case, cubed, squared, x, constant. Now, when you're doing synthetic division, you have to have it from where it starts all the way through the constant. The constant needs to be there. I know you did one on your assignment yesterday where I think it was, I don't know, it's x cubed, x to the 5th, and then x to the 4th, and then it just kind of stopped. Okay? You didn't need everything after that. It just kind of stopped. So then at that point, you were done. When you're doing synthetic division, you got to go all the way through the constant. Okay? So now all we're doing from our dividend is we're just dropping down the constants. And we're going to use those to do this. It becomes a little bit of shorthand. You don't have to write the x's and the x cubes and the x squareds and all of those anymore.
Do you
Okay? So you don't have to write the x's, x cubed, and all of those anymore. So really all we're focusing on is this part right here. It's the 0 of our divisor, and then the coefficients of all of our dividends. All right, so the next step then is we're going to draw a line that goes a little bit further down. Give yourself some space. You're going to take this 2, and you are going to drop that 2 straight down. And this is always the way it's going to go. And if you think about what do I have to take this times, I have to take this times 2 to get to here. Okay, so this 2 is going to drop straight down. Think of that as being in long division, being right there. We're going to drop it straight down. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this 3 right here, and we're going to multiply it by the 2. The result of that is going to go above the line. So you're taking 3 times 2, 3 times what's underneath that line, and then you're putting it above the line. Now we're going to take these, and we're going to add them now. You don't have to worry about subtracting anymore. We're just going to add them. So negative 7 plus 6 is negative 1. Why are we adding instead of subtracting? We've got the 0 now, right? So we've taken care of the subtraction part of it already. Now, it's just all now a pattern. If it's below the line, you multiply it by your divisor and write the result above the line. So 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. You take the 2 numbers that are above the line, you add them together. 0 plus negative 3 is negative 3. You take 3 times negative 3. The result of that, negative 9, goes above your line. Add those together. You get negative 13. That negative 13 now becomes our remainder. So if you look at what we have there and look at what we have for our answer up here, when we did it using long division, notice that the coefficients are exactly the same. Okay, so now when we rewrite this, we have to rewrite it. So when we rewrite it, we are going to go 1 less than where we started with our powers. So we're going to go 2x squared minus x minus 3, and then we've got the negative 13 over what our original divisor was, sitting right there. Same solution as we got with long division. You don't need to use all the x's and get all of that and be confused with all of that. Okay? End goal. Why does it become this? Why is it 2x squared instead of just whatever? Why isn't it 2x cubed? Remember the end goal. We want to know if it's a factor of it or not. So if this would be a factor, which we know it isn't, because we have that remainder, I have to be able to distribute this to get back. So x times 2x squared gets me that 2x cubed that I needed to start with. Now, we've got that remainder sitting in there, so that's irrelevant because it's not a factor of it, but that's the rationale as to why we need it to start with x squared, and it's always going to be 1 less. So if we start with x to the 6th, it's x to the 5th. Okay. This is synthetic division. When we get into trying to figure out if these are factors or not, this is much easier to do, and it's much, much faster than that mess. Okay? So let's look at a couple examples. So we've got x cubed plus 5x squared minus 3x plus 4. We're going to take and divide it by x minus 3. Now, do not rewrite it as a long division problem. We're just going to rewrite it. What goes inside the box, or kind of box? 3. Right? Remember, it's whatever makes that 0. Outside, what's my first number? 1, then 5, then Draw a line. What goes below? Okay, we got to drop that 1 down. That's the most frequently missed part of it. Okay, we got to start with something. We've got nothing below the line to take that times. We got to put something below. We need to put a 0 there and go 1 plus 0. Yeah, do that. Take these two and multiply them together. 3 times 1. 3, I hope. Add them or subtract them? Add them. 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Uh-oh. Negative 3 plus 24. 21. 21 times 3. 63. 63 plus 4. 67. 67 is our remainder down there. Okay, so we've got it written out. Now we need to supply the answer. So we've got a 1, so it's going to be x to the second. We started with third. Make sure we go down 1. Plus 8x plus 21 with the remainder of 67 over x minus 3. Is it a factor of it? No, it's not a factor of it, but we got an answer out of the deal. Okay. Couple watch outs. Double check your math. Okay, 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, do it twice in your head. Yup, 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, I'm good. If you make a mistake on this end of things, you're wrong the rest of the way. And are you going to know you're wrong the rest of the way? Probably not. So make sure you check your math when you're doing these. If you need to get out the calculator to take 1 plus 0, take out your calculator to get 1 plus 0. All right? Go. We're keeping it at negative 3 so you can do it the same thing. How are you?
Better now. Same. It's kind of dry.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. I just painted the real life again. Come back to it. Needed to see Matt.
There you go.
Yeah, this has been crazy. How about you?
I was talking about you the other day. I said, homecoming.
Yeah.
The last time I was here.
It's legit, and it's November.
It's November. I
don't know what happened to October.
I walked by it. It was earlier this week. Walked by the office.
Yeah.
The lights.
It's everywhere.
She's just busy.
Living all over.
What goes inside the box? What's here?
3.
Go.
6. Negative 19. 1. 6.
Look at that. There must be a math teacher over there. Look at that. Below the line, what's there, guys? Guys. Stop. 6. 3 times 6. Negative 19 plus 18. 3 times negative 1. 1 plus negative 3. 3 times negative 2. Remainder is 0. Yay, that means it's a factor. 6x to the second minus 19. It is 1. Just making sure you're good. Do I need the 1 there? X minus 2. That's your solution. So, again, we're not worried about this today, but that would be the factored form of this. Now, this can be factored further, and we'll find zeros and do all the fun stuff and graph it later. But yeah, we're getting there. Good so far? All right, let's make it a little more difficult. I don't know if it's more difficult. There's just more numbers. It's the same. This doesn't get any harder. It just gets more numbers. And again, double check. As they get longer, the errors start to happen multiplying and adding.
That's what each question.
Oh, I guess it has a little. You got an updated picture?
Come on.
Oh, do you have an updated picture? That's a dope.
What? Nope. You? Oh, like solid. I always say oh, I'm so scared.
She looks big. She's still dying.
Is she still?
She's still dying. But compared to.
She's still with her wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we get her tomorrow for a couple hours. I should take care of that tomorrow.
It's just a plastic
Yeah. I just said plastic.
Mom over and running kids all over. It's fun.
Set up an appointment. Set up. Set up an appointment for us to meet. You just said 7th hour.
Okay, 7th hour.
So end of the day. Just
the
whatever
day.
day you have free, just set it up.
I will.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
What's that gonna be?
What goes on the inside, outside in the box? What's here? -2, and then we've got 1. It goes faster if we help. What's next? -3, -11, 5, and 17. Underneath the line. 1, above the line. Below the line. 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 So x to the third minus 5x squared minus x plus 7 and 3 over x plus 2. Did I write it right this time? Yes?
Yes.
And again, you've got to be careful. The math, you've got to watch your math. Slow down sometimes. Slow down to go fast. Be careful. Last one. Be careful.
If I'm an 8, did I know?
Be careful.
What you get?
What goes inside the box? 1. Again, I'll remind you again, and there's probably a reason I'm saying it. The way you get what that is you take that and set it equal to 0. Okay. Then we should have 1, then 0, -3, then what's next? 0, -4, and -1. Okay, so if you have to do, if it helps you to write them up above, shh. If it helps you to write it up above at the beginning, that shit goes downhill. If you have to do that, do this. Can't forget them. All right, so here we go. We've got 1, we've got 1, we've got 1, we've got 1, we've got -2, we've got -2, we've got -2, we've got -2, we've got -6, we've got -6, we've got -7. How'd I do? So x to the 4th plus x cubed minus 2x squared minus 2x minus 6 minus 7 over x minus 1. Synthetic division is what this is. Okay? Remember when you're doing synthetic, this equals 0. Whatever makes your dividend equal 0, that's what's there. Your divisor equals 0. That's what goes there. Drop the first one down, do your math slowly. Okay? When you do it. The answer is yes, you need to do all of the problems that are on your assignment. Go. Monday will be review day. Your quiz on Tuesday is going to be 3.1, 3.2, and this was 3.4. So whatever 3.1 was, and then add, subtract, multiply, divide. 3.3 will come back to. 3.3 takes like 3 or 4 days. It might be factoring. I don't remember. I don't know. Tests. Oh, I have those in the grade book. I'll call you up and you can see how you did.